Hey, second review! What's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm going to do my second album review. And it would be Floating Points, Pharoah Sanders, and the London Symphony Orchestra, Promises. Speaking of promises, do you promise you'll never betray me?
Yes,
Do you promise that you'll never leave me alone?
yes.
It's good to know. So, Pharoah Sanders, legendary saxophone jazz musician. Samuel T. Shepard, aka Floating Point, and the one and only London Symphony Orchestra has come together with Promises. And it is beautiful. It is epic, and it is a very crazy thing that them three are coming together for one album. And this album has caught a lot of people's attention as well because of its very beautiful and natural blend of jazz and contemporary classical music as well as electronic music. The specific term for this genre blend is third wave. And there are essentially 9 movements to this 46-minute long piece, and each movement also starts and also revolves around this one constantly repeating piano line. And at first, I honestly was a little bit annoyed by it, but honestly, at this point, I don't really mind it. However, I'm going to say this now. Don't get at me. Don't get mad at me. Don't call me a "ooh, you don't understand art. You're a pleb. You're a pleb." But honestly, I don't think the album started off quite strongly. The first 10-15 minutes or so are very, very cumbersome and slow. And honestly, that is not much of a problem because there are a lot of ambient music that's also really slow paced, really quiet, and cumbersome. And I enjoyed a good bit of ambient music as well. But usually, the kind of ambient music I would enjoy are the kinds of music that really plays around with sound and tone and atmosphere, a la Nicholas Jar. But the first 4 movements of this album just didn't really do that for me. We got these really beautiful spiritual jazz sax solos that are amazing, but everything surrounding that is just rather mild and tame. We also got these very naturalistic vocal hummings on the 4th movement, and also some fiery saxophones afterwards, which is really cool. But still, the first 4 movements didn't really do much. The 5th movement is where the instrumentals, including the keyboards, the sax, and I think the strings, begin to blend in with one another, melting into one another, into something more volatile, into something more chaotic. But it is movement 6 that really, really impressed me because the musical element of this album that impressed me the most is actually the classical orchestral elements rather the jazz elements. It's the very cinematic and mountainous, grandiose, dense strings that really bring me and elevate me to another level that I really, really love. Movement 6, especially the ending where the strings they twirl and they swell and they layer like a sea of rolling waves. It's absolutely beautiful. It's so clean and crisp as well. I really, really love it. There are also lonesome moments of these strings, which is very beautiful. In movement 7, it is more slow paced, but it toys around a little bit because of the cycling electronics that are very spacey, like it's broadcasted out of an alien spaceship. Movement 8 is also a very quiet and whimpery track. Not a track, movement. It's a movement. And it has these dusty, muddy organs that are very beautiful. And the album honestly ends with a whimper. It doesn't try anything crazy at the end. It's very cinematic though. It ends on a sour spot where the orchestral composition returns and the strings swell again, but this time more uncertain and strange. And I really love this ending for the album. I think it's unusual, unconventional, and it feels strange, and I really like that. So overall, not much to say about this album other than it is beautifully arranged. The composition is amazing. The blend of genres is very smooth and naturalistic. It does start off very mild and tame, but the rest of the album are pretty great, especially movement 6. I really love that movement. So, I am giving Floating Points, Pharoah Sanders, and the London Symphony Orchestra's Promises a 7 out of 10. So, have you listened to Promises from 1 to 10? How much you rate it, like it, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.